I've been obsessed with becoming more athletic for pretty much my whole life. Since I was like 10, 9 years old, I was watching like animes and like shows of people playing football, basketball. And it always really motivated me. I always wanted to get more athletic. I always wanted to get stronger. I always wanted to like be known as that person. That person was just freakishly athletic. And of course, I won't lie. I'm pretty much. I have pretty much like pretty good genetics. That's that's a fact. I'm naturally pretty athletic. Like I'm not necessarily a beast when it comes to athleticism naturally, but I have pretty good genetics. I'm not gonna lie there. But a lot of it, a lot of my current athleticism has come from just training hard, training hard, training hard, training hard. Because over the last 2 years is when I make the biggest jump when it comes to my athleticism and my physical capabilities. My strength has gone up, my speed has gone up, my jumping abilities have gone up. I'm sure I'm going to be able to dunk soon. And it's all because of the work I've been putting in. And there's a training method that I just discovered I would say a few years ago, like I think 1.5 years ago, a training method that I discovered, but I didn't really take seriously for a few months. But recently I've been taking very seriously, and that's been very helpful. It's called plyometrics. So plyometrics is basically a training method that helps. Like the benefits are basically that it strengthens your joints and your bones. It makes you more athletic, makes you more springy, like makes your tendons more springy, makes you more athletic in general, improves your technique, makes it harder for you to injure yourself if you do it correctly. So it's a very efficient way to train. It's very helpful. It's very, I think it should be in a lot of training programs. I think it's an underrated way to train. Because of course, yeah, in the space of jumping, in the space of trade of like some different sports, it's famous there. But I think more people that are just even just recreational, like people that just train for fun, not necessarily trying to become pros, should also include them more into their training routines because it really can help you to prevent injuries, to train tendons that you don't necessarily train with strength training and different exercises that you do in the gym. It's a very powerful way to train. So basically, plyometrics can be different type of exercises. It can be like it's a lot of jumping, like sprints are basically plyometric. Just sprinting maximum effort. Like it doesn't necessarily, but yeah, maximum effort are basically intensive plyometric sprinting. Max effort jumps, like trying to jump as high as possible from a standing position, is a plyometric. Like the different, like there are hundreds and hundreds, probably thousands of plyometrics out there that you can find to do. Like plyometric exercise that you can find. So it can be different type of jumps, different types of sprints, straight leg sprints, like max approach jump, standing jump, or depth jumps. Like depth jumps, basically you jump you're on a box, you drop down, and then you start and as your legs hit the ground, you try to jump as high as possible. That's an exercise that I like to do a lot. So basically, my routine, the exercise that I do in my plyometric routine is basically the first one is like kneeling jump plus vert jump. So basically, I'm on my knees. I first start on my knees, and I literally jump with my hips. I know it sounds weird, but it will make sense. Like I don't know if I can show you if you can see it even if I do it right now. But basically, I start on my knees, and I basically retract my hips and then I push them forward. And that motion, I do it really fast with a lot of power so that it kind of propels me up. And then I land on my feet. And as the second my feet make contact with the ground, I jump up as high as I can. I do that for 5 reps. I'll first go through the different exercises and I'm gonna do. I tell you how many reps I do and how many sets and how long I rest and everything. The second exercise I do is are like uh, jumping lunges. So I think probably most gym bros, most people that actually go to the gym that train regularly know how what it should look like jumping lunges. So it's basically I do a lunge, and when I my knee touches the ground, and most I don't really touch the ground with my knee. I kind of do like a half rep, but to emulate the jumping, like to make it more to improve the carry over to jumping. But I drop down, and when I reach the bottom part of the movement, I propel myself up and I jump. I also use my arm. An important part of plyometrics, you let your whole body move like it's supposed to. When you're jumping, use your arms. I think it's very important because it teaches you to really use your arms and the rest of your body, not only your legs correctly when you're jumping and doing all those things in real life. So I do jumping loads. I jump, I jump up, I jump up, I jump up. So I switch legs each time. So I jump, switch leg in the air, jump again, switch leg in the air. You can just like if you want to just like you can go on YouTube afterwards. You can write down the different names of the exercises I've given you and you go on YouTube afterwards and just search for them. So the first one was kneeling jump, plus vert jump, and the second one was jumping lunges. And there are many YouTubers that make great, amazing videos about plyometrics. Like I like that Isaiah Rivera is like a professional dunker that teaches me a lot about jumping. And there's another guy, I forgot his name, but you can just search for plyometrics. You're gonna find a lot of people that make amazing videos on it. The third exercise I do are depth jumps. So depth jumps are basically like take plyometric boxes in my gym. So I train plyometrics in the gym as well. So I take two boxes. One is 60 centimeters tall and like high, and the other one is 15 centimeters high. So in total, I stand on a 75 centimeter box, and then I basically just drop down. I don't jump down. I drop down, and as I land, I try to then jump as high as possible, as high as I possibly can. The fourth exercise are jump squats. You know what jump squats they are? Basically, I think every gym bro should know what jump squats look like. Like exactly what the name says. You go into a squat and like into like a quarter squat and you jump up and then you land and then you jump up again and just repeat that and you jump again. Something that I haven't said yet. But when it comes to plyometrics, if you really want to grow, if you really want to get better, you have to put maximum effort into them. So I just do that. And then the fifth exercise I do are pogo jumps. Pogo jumps is an exercise where you basically are on your toes and then you jump up and you stay on your toes. Don't let your heels touch the ground. You don't let your knees bend too much. So it's really pretty much a jump that you do mostly from your calves and your feet and your ankles. You don't really use much of your quads or hamstrings. The sixth exercise I do are broad jumps. No, are drop jumps. Drop jumps is basically like the depth jump, but you don't do it from like such a high box. So I do that. I do drop jumps from like I think 45 centimeter box. So I just drop down. But the difference between the drop jump and the depth jump is that on the depth jump you want to jump as high as possible, but on the drop jump you want to like jump as fast as possible. You want to jump as soon as your feet touch the ground, as fast as you possibly can. So that's why I jump from like a lower, like not such a high box when it comes to drop jump because my goal is not to like stay on the ground. My goal is to stay on the ground for like let my feet be on the ground for a very short time and then just explode up. When the drop on the depth jump, I allow myself to just stay on the ground as much as I need to really produce as much power as possible to go up as high as possible. The last like the seventh I think exercise are broad jumps to like train my like horizontal jumping abilities. So I just basically just broad jumps are basically you just jump as far as possible forward without a run up. You just stand there and then you try to jump as far forward as you possibly can. And yeah, the last no I didn't do clap push-ups. That's a plyometric for not clap push-up but explosive push-ups for the upper body. And then the last one is sprinting. No, I first do max approach jumps. So to work on my jumping technique with the runner because I think technique is a very important part. But I do max approach jumps with really working on my technique, really trying to improve it. And then the last one is sprinting. I sprint, I do like that's a very good plyometric to do. Even if you're not trying to become that much faster, if you're just trying to get to like jump higher, sprints is very powerful. So now I'm gonna go into more details about how you can train plyometrics. First, when you're doing like, if you should do like high intensity plyometrics 2 to 3 times a week, because there are different types of plyometric. Even jump roping can be plyometric, but it's not necessarily like a high intensity plyometric. It's more like an extensive plyometric. It's not a plyometric where you can put maximum effort into each rep, into each jump. It's more like like small jumps, but it's still plyometric, but it's an extensive one. And those can be also powerful. Like maximum effort plyometric, intensive plyometrics, you should do at like 2 to maximum of 3 times a week. But when it comes to like extensive plyometrics, you can pretty much do them every day. You can jump rope every day, and it can actually help. Like doing and like extensive plyometrics, like low intensity plyometrics, like 5 times a week to pretty much every day, can be very helpful to actually prevent injury and keep your body ready for the high intensity sessions. But when you're doing those high intensity sessions, that's gonna do like 2 to 3 times a week. It's very important that you put a maximum effort into each rep, into each jump, and you sprint as fast as you possibly can on each sprint. It's very important to put maximum effort. Don't if you're gonna put just 50%, 60%, 70% to it, you're not gonna get the benefits. You really need to push yourself on each jump, each sprint. Now I'm gonna talk about the reps and the sets and the rest you should have between sets. So the reps that I do on most exercises are around between 3 to 8 reps. So you shouldn't do like pretty low reps because you want to put maximum effort into each rep. So on the flex exercise, like the knee jump plus vertical jump, I do 5 reps. On the jumping lunges I do 8. On the depth jumps I do 5. On the jump squats I do 5. On the pogo jumps I do 8. On the broad jumps I do 3 literally because they have really like a hard, difficult exercise to do, especially the landing part. On explosive push-ups I do 5. On pretty much like that. And on max approach jumps I'd also do 5%. And then sprints is just pretty much one set, but I just sprint for like 30 to 60 meters. So you really shouldn't like aim to do high reps because plyometric is not an exercise to like build. It's not like the exercise that should basically make your muscles stronger. You shouldn't like go to like literally failure on each set, but you should focus on really putting max intensity and max effort into each rep. Like remember, plyometrics is not like strength training or hypertrophy training. Your goal is not to get stronger, like to build bigger muscles. Plyometrics are not going to help you to build like bigger muscles at all. But they help you to improve your muscle fiber recruitment, to make your tendons and bones stronger. So those type of things. But you should like kind of forget your different notions of strength training when you're doing plyometrics because it's a totally different way to train. It's not the same way to train. So put max effort into each like rep. I personally do 2 sets on most exercises, except from max approach jumps and sprinting. I do 3 sets on max approach jumps, and I do 6 sets of sprinting literally. But in all other exercises, I literally just do 2 sets. But you can do like 3 sets per exercise. You can do 5, but be careful to not do too much. If you do 5 reps on like 5 sets on each exercise, then I would recommend you actually do less exercises. I allow myself to do so many exercises, like 7 exercises, because I do choose this on most of the exercises that I do. So just be careful of not overdoing it because there's definitely a limit to how much you can do. But just remember that it's a high impact thing. Like plyometrics can take a toll on your body very fast. And that's why you should only do them 2 to 3 times per week. And even if you eventually do it 3 times per week, you should like build it up. First start with 1 times a week, then go to 2, then go up to 3. I'm currently on 2. Maybe in the future I'm gonna go up to 3, but I'm currently on 2. And it's very like intensive way to train. So you need to let your body time to get used to it. Because if you just jump straight to just doing it 3 times per week, you can injure yourself. So listen to the kind of your body. If you notice that your knees and your ankles don't seem like really recovered, then just do it once per week, and then slowly as your body adapts, do it more often. And when it comes to plyometrics, also warm up is like an important part. Warm up very, very well. I used to not really warm up, but the way you can warm up is just basically warm up your legs, warm up your shoulders, because when you're jumping, you're gonna use your hands and everything, and your shoulders gonna play an important part there. So warm up your shoulders, warm up your legs, your ankles, your knees with different exercises. And don't just go straight up to jumping max effort. You wouldn't like go to squat your your 1 rep max without a warm up. So first up, we doing like jumps of lower intensity. You can do jump rope, and yeah, you can jump rope for like 5 minutes, and then you go and do like small jumps, but on like of maximum intensity. Like you start with 30%, and then you go up to 50%, and then you go to 70%, and then you go up to 80%, and then you go to 100%. So like really take the warm up seriously, because if you don't, you can really get injured. You don't want to get injured on like a training method that's supposed to make your bones and make you more resilient to injury. You don't want that. So really make sure you really warm up, because I used to not really warm up on this. And another part of plyometrics is really important is take long rest breaks. I know because it's not such high intensity, you're tempted to like kind of take shorter rest breaks, like 30 seconds, 1 minute. And that's what I used to do. But no, it might not like might not feel your muscles burning. But an important part of plyometrics is you want to be able to recruit as many muscle fibers as possible. And you want to be able to put as much power and intensity into each rep. So you should literally recover at least 2.5 minutes between sets. I do at least 3 minutes of rest. You should do 2.5 minutes to 5 minutes of rest between sets when it comes to plyometrics. Literally, I know it sounds a lot, but do it. Trust me, it's a very important part of plyometrics. You need to take long rest breaks. Something that I heard is you want to rest for rest breaks should be between 6 and 10 times longer than your work, like the working time you did. So you can kind of play with that. But I would recommend you do at least 2.5 minutes of rest between sets. It's very important. And last thing I want to talk about is variation. You don't want to just do you don't want to just do the same style of exercises. So let me explain. Some exercise like some exercises like maybe jumping squats, and what's an exercise that's similar to jumping squats? Like jumping squats is a certain type of exercise, and you won't just want variation in general. I don't really know how I can explain it, but you want just variation in general when it comes to the type of exercise that you do. You can kind of think about it. In my routine, I just told you that I do my plyometrics workout. I do like some unilateral exercises. I do some exercise where I focus on reaction speed. I do some exercise where I focus on maximal power output. I do some exercise where I focus on like the power my hips can generate. I do some exercise where I focus on really my ankles and calves. So don't just do the same plane of motion, the same same kind of jump, the same kind of exercise that would just hit your body in this exact same way each time. Use some variation. I also do some exercises that require me to jump forward, not always like in an up and down motion. Have variation in your routine, because you want your body to be resilient to different situations. It's very important. So yeah, I hope you got value here. It's a very good way to train. I think you can find a lot of experts that know a lot more than me when it comes to this. So I would recommend you. I just want to introduce you to this way of training, because it can be complicated sometimes. There's a lot of information on it out there, so it can kind of fuck with your mind. So I just want to introduce you, but don't just take my voice for it. Go and look at all the other super smart people when it comes to this topic. Isaiah Rivera, different people, just research plyometrics and how to train them. How do I train plyometrics? How do I do them? How do I perform different exercises? Look for different exercises and how they actually performed. It's very important to like really research on it because it can be, I might have missed some information here. So really research in details about it. Go look for videos about it. Go look for videos on different exercises that I just talked about. Go look for different exercises you can do. And yeah, that's all I have to say. Don't really feel comfort. Jason.